This guy is in big trouble. So this dude, let's call him Road Rash, he was out riding dirt bikes with his friends. A car driven by this woman, Nikki. Then, Nikki and Road Rash, they start arguing. And suddenly, Road Rash gets off his bike and he like Hulk stomps her back windshield like a fucking psychopath. Here's the thing though, Nikki, she's got a little kid in the back seat with all that broken glass. So she gets mad and she gets out of the car. And that's when Road Rash decides to point a pum-pum at her. Which I can't show you. Then he tries to like headbutt her with his full helmet on, which I also can't show you. But see, Nikki ain't no punk. She doesn't back down. She pushes him, and Nikki files a police report. But unfortunately, there's not much police can do because he's an anonymous guy and they can't find him. So he gets away with it. Until a nearby tourist, he sees all this happening, so he starts recording and gets this video. So that video immediately blows up. And you know the internet. They're mad, they're trying to bring him to justice. Someone needs to find that guy. He should be in jail. I'm just here for the drama. So people identify Nikki, and news stations start contacting her. And those news clips, they start blowing up as well. Then, Road Rash's boss. And using that information, police finally identify and catch the guy. And they arrest him, and here's his mugshot. Meanwhile, two glass repair guys who saw the video, they contacted Nikki and they repaired her windshield for free. Let's call him O. Henry. O. Henry just stumbled upon a mysterious suitcase, and he doesn't know what's in it. And it ends up being this like rock-filled shore. Pretty cool. But then they spot a mysterious black suitcase. So they're joking about what could be inside, and they decide to check it out, because like maybe there's $1 million in there. So they open it a little with a stick, and it smells horrible. So they use that stick to flip the top open, and the smell is even more overwhelming, like Chewbacca's ass or something. But inside the suitcase, they see it's a heavy-duty trash bag full of something. So they decide, okay, this is probably one of two things, either rotten food or an unalived body. And guess what? It is definitely not rotten food in that suitcase. It's filled with people parts. So police shut everything down, they search the area, and they find several more bags, all full of people parts from two different unalived people. Next day, he posts this video to TikTok of him and his friends discovering this suitcase on the shore. And the video catches fire. Everyone's posting it everywhere, news outlets are picking it up. About a week later, the medical examiner identifies the two bodies they found as this woman, Jessica, and this guy, her boyfriend, Cash. So how did Jessica and Cash end up on the shore in a suitcase? Well, Jessica and Cash, they don't have a lot of money, so they rent out a room from this guy, Dudley. And Dudley's an older guy. He kind of looks like Santa Claus. He's got like chickens in his yard and stuff. But Jessica and Cash don't exactly get along with Dudley, and he thinks they're shady. And at some point, they miss their rent payment. And of course, Dudley is not happy, and he cannot let that slide. So he confronts them, and they start arguing. And things get heated, like really heated. And they're fighting, and things start to get physical. And at some point during that argument, Dudley gets so mad, he goes and gets his pew-pew, and he unalives Cash, and then he unalives Jessica. Then he dices them into smaller parts and puts them in garbage bags. And he puts the bags into suitcases, and he dumps the suitcases on the rocky shore. About a day or so later is when O. Henry and his friends find the suitcases and they call the police. So the police have these two bodies of Jessica and Cash, and the medical examiner finds small traces of feathers on them. That's weird. So police check their phone records, and the last person Jessica and Cash contacted was this guy, Dudley. So they get a warrant, they search Dudley's place, and in the room, bullet hole in the wall that had been painted over. They also see that Dudley has chickens in his yard. which would explain the animal feathers. So they arrest him, he goes to trial, he's found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder, and he is sentenced to more than 46 years in prison. And all this happened in Washington State, so shout out to Washington. His name's Nicholas has a big problem. One day, he just died rather suddenly. So how does he die? Well, before all this, Nicholas was going to college in Ohio. There, one night, he decides to essay a woman. And he's arrested and he's charged. Then he moves to Utah, and later that same year, he is still committed to the bit.
I'm not Nicholas. I do not know how to make this work.
No. I mean, he is really committed to the bit.
People say that's an act. Let me try to stand up. Let me try to stand up. Exactly.
Even when he goes to trial to see if he should be extradited back to the US, he still claims he is not Nicholas. But at this point, they got DNA evidence, they got fingerprints, medical records, his tattoos, so the judge is just not buying his nonsense. So finally, they extradite him back to Utah, and there, he's in jail waiting for his trial. And in jail, of course, he's still keeping up the act.
Objection, my lady. That is complete hearsay.